G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. This is my ninth, the ninth vlog for the day, and I'm kind of hoping that I'm going to set a record because I've got a couple of days to go and I've got 13 vlogs to do in order to reach my 1,000. So I'm a man on a mission. For those who know me, when I get focused, when I get keen, when I'm on the trail, I just don't give up. So let's do one more book summary and see where it leads us. And the book summary that I want to take you through over the next 15 minutes is entitled Buddha's Brain by an author named Rick Hanson. And there's some valuable lessons for all of us coming out of this book. And once again, I just say that I've never read a book, I've never been through a book summary where I haven't learned something very new and something that I can add to the list of things that we can use, the life hacks that we can rely on throughout our days. So this author kicks off the book summary with a quote, and the quote is as follows. And it's a good one. It's a really interesting quote, that only humans worry about the future, regret the past, and blame ourselves for the present. It's pretty interesting, that, because as a lot of people have commented in a number of other book summaries, that the reason why we're depressed is that we're living in the past. The living why we're anxious is that we're living too much in the future, and all we've got is the present, and the present can bring us peace and harmony. But if you're the type of personality that blames yourself for the present whilst putting it into the perspective of your past and future, then that causes even more drama. Something to think about, something to contemplate, and something to work on. And once again, only us humans have the capability of worrying and dwelling on the future, regretting the past, and blaming ourselves for the present. But the author then goes on to talk about a few other things which are really interesting and quite potent. He uses a very powerful analogy, which I found very profound. And he says that one dart, when you get hit by one dart, it hurts. One dart is painful enough. But the author then goes on to say something else, that don't make your pain worse by dwelling on it. Because pain at the end of the day is inevitable, but suffering is optional. That's one of the quotes that has been attributed to Buddha. So pain is inevitable. We're all going to go through pain. We're all going to go through grief and suffering in our lives. But the suffering bit of it is optional. And the author then goes on to explain it to us. And he says that we experience in our lives discomfort on two levels. The first level is where we get struck by the dart and we get a sudden rush of pain, a sudden rush of discomfort. Fair enough. We're in a painful situation, we get struck by a dart, and we immediately feel that sudden rush of pain. But then he goes on to say that the second level of pain is when we make things worse by throwing a second dart at ourselves. Think about that one. So you cop the first dart, which is probably out of your control, and you feel the sudden pain and you dwell on it. But by dwelling on it, is where you increase the pain by thinking about it, by dwelling on it, is when you actually dart yourself. So you stab yourself with a second dart, which is probably even more painful than the first one, because it's all based on how we react. And most of us, most of the people I know, are big at overreacting. We're drama queens when it comes to pain, and we overreact, and that overreaction is where all the suffering is, according to this wonderful author. So what the author says is that what we should be considering doing is, when you feel the initial pain, to just accept that pain and make sure that you don't spend too much time thinking about it and dwelling on it, because that's going to inflict the worst pain of all. So just learn to accept that first pain, accept it, and just try and move on without overthinking about it, without overreacting to it. Easier said than done, but you know what I mean. We've all got friends, we've all got people in our families, in our work environments, who overreact to every stimulus. And it's the overreaction which is where the pain, or where the suffering, where the real suffering is. So the author then talks about another sort of technique in terms of getting over and through pain. And he says that we need to try and learn how to quit the eternal rat race by practicing composure. And composure is a sense of controlling the way you feel or the way you react to things. And you achieve composure by staying with the experience. So listen to this one here. You achieve composure by staying with the experience for just long enough for it to sink in without developing a permanent reaction to it. So composure, from the author's perspective, is a circuit breaker. It's neither good nor bad, but if something good happens, by all means, maintain composure, experience it, but don't over-experience it, is what we're trying to suggest here, but also on the bad side as well. So hold the feeling, according to the author, hold the feeling for 20 or 30 seconds and then release it, let it go. Because chasing the next thing, the next hit with your head is what causes the issue, the suffering. It's pretty interesting. I like it. And the third point to come out of this book here is that we can reduce the suffering in our lives by not over-identifying with too many things. In a world of identity politics, now we've got lots of people wanting to identify with their gender, with their race, with their colour, with their sexuality, with their education level, with their age group. There are just so many things that people want to identify with. And what the author here says from a Buddhist perspective is that this over-identifying with the things, this over-chasing of identity politics, is one of the big reasons for why we feel inadequate, lonely, disconnected, because we're trying far too hard to connect with things that have no real meaning anyway, is what the author is saying. So the author has a call to action here, and the call to action is to basically try and let go of yourself in order to find peace, fulfillment, and acceptance. It's important, of course, to assert yourself and to assert your right to be happy, But we need to tame our sense of self by not overly identifying with things, because these many things have a use-by date. And if you identify with lots of things and want to try and hold on to these things for far too long, this is what's causing us the grief and the suffering that we're having in our lives. The author goes on to say that we need to stop labeling things as mine. You know, my children, my car, my family, my work, my. Because all of these things put pressure on us to want to keep them humming along. And we know that over time things change. Children grow up. They need to go to grow. They need to live their life. And if you keep on trying to possess them, if you keep on trying to possess your partner, if you keep on trying to possess your career, if you hold on to all of these things far too tightly, then they in themselves want to wriggle out of your grip and escape you. So it's a trick of, by basically trying to use soft hands. And in order to relieve ourselves of the pain, to lessen the grip that we have on all of these things, these labels, these things we want to identify with, is the final message from this book. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and families, thank you for joining me on this special episode of Jim's 5am Club. I'm at home and I'm in the front yard. This is the 9th vlog for the day. Haven't done 9 ever. So this is one more than the most that I've done. I did 8 yesterday. So we've just been through The Buddha's Brain by Hanson. Hopefully we've picked up a few pointers from this book summary to enable us to partner in each other's development, our growth and development, where we can be the wind beneath our wings, and where we can use some of these things to help us grow and develop and to live, learn and pass it on. I can see the sun just starting to go down, and I've probably got time for one more vlog before I finish off for tonight. So once again, thank you, Daleme, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message, and we'll see where it leads us. But I'm in the home straight. My wind is full of sail. I've got the whip is cracking, and I reckon I'm going to get there. 1,000 vlogs in English by Thursday. How exciting is that? It's exciting for me. Take care, yasas, que taleme. Bye for now.